Welcome everybody to Nightcap Candid Cafe Conversations. I, of course, am your host, Maria. Today, I once again, as always, have the most extreme pleasure to be joined by two of my absolute favorite people in the entire world. We have one LonzoGonzo and we have one Robo Goblin, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be here with these two fantastic people. Hello.
Hi. Oh, hi.
You thought you were gonna to fanboy over me, and let me tell you, I'm your biggest fans. I love you.
I love you two both a lot. So there we go. I am a fan of both.
No,
of you.
I love you guys more. No, you hang up first.
No, you
hang up
first. So this is how this is gonna go today. I've had the absolute pleasure of being able to meet Lonzo in person, and one day, Robo, we're going to. But I've been in Yellow Circles for it feels like forever, but it's probably not been. I feel like I've always known the two of you, and which is great. You feel like family, and that's a wonderful thing to this is great. I'm really excited. I'm just so happy to be sitting down with the two of you. For the sake of those who perhaps may not know the venerable Robo Goblin and the astounding LonzoGonzo, could you all tell me what it is, perhaps one, maybe two things that folks may, if they see you around the internet, know you for?
I'll let beauty go before age.
So that's Lonzo. Then.
Oh no, I'm the viejito here, so please,
okay.
mijo.
Sure, I'll go first. It's me, Robo Goblin. And you can find me at TTRPGifs on Twitter and on Twitch. And tonight I'll be playing... Wait. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of TTRPGs, so I'm used to that. I'll be playing me, Robo Goblin. It's me. And where can you find me? I'm part of Youtharian Legends, playing D&D on Sundays on the D4 RPG channel. And that's pretty much where you all can find me.
One thing you might know Robo from is in the name, GIF Master. GIF Master. Doesn't matter how you say it. Robo is one, very fast, and two, exceptionally talented at pulling out just these little wonderful nuggets from streams and from like there just so many so TTRP gifs Jiffies Josephies it's fantastic. There is one particular GIF that was commissioned by our very good friend Duval from our game of Outcast and Outclassed that is of my face that he uses literally once a week in our group chat and multiple times everywhere else, and it is perfect. It's perfect.
Which one?
The one where I'm out of frame and I walk in frame completely deadpan and just stare at the game.
Oh my god, I remember that. Okay, so a quick story about that. I was watching Outclassed and Outclassed, right? And then I was just looking at the show, which is, by the way, it's a phenomenal show. Like, everybody in the cast is super good, and the storytelling it's great and everything. But then I'm used to seeing Maria in a lot of stuff, and they're so expressive in whatever they do.
Yeah.
So when I saw that GIF, I busted out laughing so much. I was laughing so much, and I just said, yeah, has to be a GIF. Now it's a GIF, and you'll see it later.
People 100,000%. It was joyous, and you do commissions on a fairly regular basis nowadays, right? Go commission. If you've got a show, if you got something you want, if you got GIFable moments, you've got GIFable moments. Go.
I want to point to wherever Robo
ends up happening to be on the screen. Go commission him for some gifts because it's really good. Really
Kofi.com/TTRPGifs.
Oh my god. Lonzo, go ahead.
I am probably the number 2 fan of Robo Goblin, but you otherwise know me as LonzoGonzo on Twitter and on Twitch. You can probably see me on my channel streaming on Twitch, or you probably see me on Rolling D's 20s, specifically on Saturday night where we do Philly by Night, Vampire Masquerade, 5e game, where I played Oscar de Leon Ponce or Ravnos, Hacker Kindred, who's also Latina, through multiple timelines. So that's kind of timey-wimey. I know, it's so much fun. You've probably seen me just on Twitter, mostly retweeting most of your stuff, because you both do amazing content, and I've been lucky to play in a game with both of you on separate occasions. And I think last time, like, Maria, we were like, wait, did we ever play anything together? And we were like going back.
Yeah.
And we had to think like really hard if we ever did. And, like, I think we were just right there.
Passing ships.
Yeah, like so close.
Yeah.
So close together.
Yeah.
But the one game we did, like, things kind of fell apart. And I think from what I heard, there's a part 2 happening to that sometime out there. Underneath the Pale Moon Sky.
I'm gonna make sure I'm there for that one.
But
for that one.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I've been doing. Also team lead over at Cafe Cotovar, and I did found Somos Familia, but we're kind of shifting that a little bit over to something else. But and also beginning of the year, you may have heard something Growing Up Latina or Creciendo Latina, where we had some amazing individuals take part in that, one of them being Maria, and another one, Robo, kind of helped out and made that possible. So big ups to Robo for helping out with that.
Yeah. So one of the other things that you coordinated and helped put together was the Three Kings Day event. Not too terribly long ago. I don't know exactly when because time is irrelevant these days, but it was in the past. Which was it was one of the most amazing events that I was able to be a part of, that you made happen, Gonzo. And because it connected me with a group of not only Hispanic and Latinx people, but also Hispanic and Latinx people who also really liked TTRPGs and like nerdy and geek things, which is not a combination I have had previously.
Right? Like, I could say, like, I'm Latina. I've only been playing TTRPGs since 2017, but I'm a nerd. Like, I love Legos, I love comics, I love Marvel movies, I love anime. I mean, I am not your typical Latina. Like, I remember being in high school, being a fan of Korn, and when MTV had like TRL and saying like, request what video you want. I'm like, I want Korn, like, Got the Life. Why do you want this? Like, because I'm Hispanic, and Hispanics don't really listen to Korn, and I think it's pretty cool, blah 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 blah. And I think that's when I kind of knew it was a little bit different. Like, wow, I actually put that in a sentence and put it out there in the internet. Like, like we've always listened to Spanish music at home, but I was always kind of like ashamed of it. It's like, I didn't grow up in like a mostly Hispanic area. It was mostly primarily white. So it's like, oh, my friends are gonna come over and be like, what's this? Like, what are you eating? Like, why are there no tacos here? Like, where's the quesadillas? Or like,
oh my god,
what's this, rice and beans?
It's bullshit, the lifeblood.
I know.
That's what it is.
Like, tostones, what's that? I'm like, what?
Oh my god.
Excuse me?
Wait, what is that?
Just tostones?
What is that?
It's the most amazing food in the entire world.
Green platanos, and you go ahead and you cut them up in about like 1.5 inches, 2
My
inch.
dad said to do the width of your thumb, essentially, but not cut yourself.
Yeah, about like 1 inch. And you cut them up, and then you fry them a bit. You fry them once for a little bit, and you smash them. They have a special tool where you smash it together, and it comes out like a big potato chip almost. Like and then you fry it again.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you take it out and you put salt on it, and it's nice, crunchy, starchy, and salty. It's so good.
So good.
So
it's
good.
Like, I grew up on those. Like,
it's good with rice and beans and chicken.
It's
pork,
so. Oh my gosh,
shrimp,
it's so good. Like our quintessential
steak.
meal.
Yeah.
Was those? It was pork chops.
Yep.
And yellow rice and applesauce. And
see, we never had the applesauce.
You put the applesauce on the pork chop, and then you eat it, and it's just
what? That sounds amazing.
That sounds good. But I think
that's
we
childhood
did
right there.
I think we did. My brother and I we did our tostones with ketchup. We would dip it in.
Oh. Yeah, because the plantains. For those of you who are listening, who are like, what the hell are they talking about? The lot of us are Latinx in various cultures. I'm Puerto Rican, and Gonzo and Robo are from other Latinx ethnicities. If you want to describe your heritage for folks.
I'm Mexican.
Hey.
Dominican and Guatemalan. And I could trace my roots on my Guatemalan side back to Mayan ancestry.
Hell yes.
Nice.
That's so cool.
I know.
That's so cool.
I was so proud
cool.
when my dad told me that. I'm like, oh, that's really freaking dope. That's really freaking dope.
That's so cool. I just looked at tostones online, and it looks so good.
Oh, they're so good. They're good.
You have to get the green platanos. If you do the yellow one, that's kind of brown.
They're sweet.
It's sweet. It's completely different.
Very different. The different way to prepare it. It gets a little sticky instead. You can like caramelize it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a fried, like if you get like a fried banana or something like that, where it's got like a caramely kind of feel to it. Because plantains are starchy. They're kind of like the same family of like potatoes, but they look like a giant green banana. But they're not. They're not. They're not.
And there's different cultures. Like Jamaicans use it. I've seen some like Chinese restaurants that had like some like rice and beans and like Latinx food that had platanos with it too. So I remember like in college when I went to college in Connecticut, there was this one place that had it, and it was like always a good meal when. My wife at the time we were dating, whenever she went home, I'm like, I have to go get this comfort food. So I have like my Chinese food and then like my platanos. I'm like, I'm sad, but I'm still sad. For 2 reasons now, because the platanos are gone.
Oh, that's so adorable. But yeah, that looks so good.
But what are some other like comfort foods that you had like growing up, or that you find yourself going back to when you're like, oh, I just want that comfort of home kind of feeling. What are some of the foods that you go back to?
There's a list.
Yeah.
There's a list. I mean,
oh man,
chicharrón, pernil, patelitos, which is like empanadas, which I had to do a culture studies project. So for high school, I got my mom and grandma to like bake like the big buffet tray. So I brought them to school, hand them out to class. There was plenty left over. So I'm at lunch at the lunch table with like maybe about 15 to 25 like empanadas, and just eating them. Like these are so good. It's a lot. Like even like some food that's not part of my culture, like Colombian empanadas. When I played soccer when I was little, we were on an all Spanish team. So it was like different races, different ethnicities all in one team, and like we won year after year after year. But there was this, I remember there were like a couple streets down from where we practiced, there was this Colombian restaurant that we would go and get little like Colombian empanadas every once in a while, and they were so damn good.
Oh,
you put anything inside of like a fried pie shell, like any kind of like salty meat, and like I'm good.
Yes. Yeah, and for me, it's probably menudo.
What's that?
Oh, Lonzo, I'm just gonna send you. So menudo is pretty much like it's mostly served during Christmas or whatever, or in the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's traditional Mexican soup made with. Can we actually describe all the stuff? It's cow's
100%.
It's cow's stomach, red chili
interesting.
pepper base, hominy, lime, onions, and oregano to season the broth.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That sounds really good.
Never heard of that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so it's really good. And my mom makes the best menudo ever. So, and it's warm. Where I'm from, where I grew up in, it gets cold, like really cold during winter. But mom made menudo, and we just watch TV and watch some silly Christmas movie or wherever. And yeah, that was really special for me. Eating menudo it's kind of like going back and being with my family and watching Christmas movies or holiday movies.
I knew this conversation was going to turn to food as soon as Lonzo, you put up pancakes. I was like, I know this.
I'm sorry.
It always goes back to food. Like, and I think that's something about like that's so wonderful, specifically about like Latinx and Hispanic cultures, is that there's so much of our culture is just built around food, because you have food when you have family over, you have food when there's good occasions and like big celebrations, you have a lot of food when it's very sad, like funerals. Y'all want to get good food, you go to a funeral. If you want a lot of food, go to a funeral.
For real.
That's actually really true. It's amazing.
There's so much food. I mean, which is good, because then it's not about the food, but the food is so ingrained in the community, in the family aspect of it, that you can't really have one without the other. In my opinion, it doesn't quite work.
No, it really doesn't.
No, yeah, I agree. It's weird, right? Like we're apart from different ethnicities, and we're all talking about food, and it kind of like rings us closer. It's weird. Food is great, y'all. Food is great.
Food is very good. Try new food.
But not only that, like I was saying earlier, like food from other cultures, from other like ethnicities that I didn't know about. Like I want to know like more about Nicaragua, so like why not try their food? Like my DoorDash luckily has like Salvadorian food, so I had pupusas a couple weeks ago, and like I haven't had pupusas in a long time. I was like, oh my god, these are so good. But damn, these are like $4 or $5 a pupusa. I'm like, so I'm like, oh, my limit for pupusa now is 2. Like, so like it's great because you could tell a lot from a culture from their food. Like the Dominican food, there's this one place that's off of the highway that it's a shack set maybe about half a mile from the beach, and every day they go fishing and come back, and they bring back like this parrot rainbow fish that they fry right there in front of you. They cut it up, they flour it with seasoning, and they fry it right in front of you, and this fish comes out to about like that big. So you get arroz, you get habichuelas, you get your tostones, you can have your Presidente beer or whatever adult beverage choice is there, and you can eat at the side of like a shack on the highway, but there's a long line of people there. So people will find food and joy, and you'll always find people coming together, no matter what size the place may be. It could be a shack, or it could be a grand restaurant. It could be like, whatever have you. But I think the one thing that's most interesting is Mexican food, because you have this big country, and you can go like 50 miles in either direction, and they're going to have a different type of cuisine from those two towns. And I don't know anywhere else where it's really like that, like short of like the United States. But when it comes to like a Latin, maybe Brazil, perhaps. But like, we'll do tacos this way, but we call it this, even though in the other town it's called this, and they do it like that. There's been so many great like YouTube channels, so many great Netflix documentaries that highlight and represent Mexican food so well. I'm like, damn, like whenever I get a chance to go down there, like I want to try this little cart in Mexico City. Like I want to try this place, or I want to try like like the basket tacos, or try tacos al pastor over here at like this gas station. Like that's what I think is so great, is like no matter where it's at, you're going to get good food. You're going to get taken care of, and you're not going to leave hungry.
You're never gonna never. If you do, someone did something wrong.
And there's a spot no more than like half a mile away the other way. It's like, oh shit, there's places over there. Like, yeah, this kind of tacos, because everyone, it's not the same thing, and that's what's awesome about it. Like in that one country, you can get so many different things, and I think that's what's amazing about food. Is like there's so many different unique flavors, unique meals that could just come from like a simple dish.
I think that's something that I just came into my head, because beyond being related in the fact that we have similar ethnic backgrounds, not the same but similar, we all are involved in the tabletop RPG space. And I was thinking about storytelling, because we've all run games at one point or another, or been in games for sure. And I was thinking about how you can use food specifically to tell your players or fellow, like you can tell the people you're playing with, or the people who are watching, so much about whatever culture it is that you are in or you are from, based on the kinds of food that they like.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't even really stop to think about it too much, but like as a GM, if you are, like, say you have a part of the world that is, inspired by someplace like Cuba or Puerto Rico or Mexico or anything like that, and you want to really drive in like the feel, the vibe of that, what better way to do it than through the food?
Yeah.
Right? So like, is it spicy? Is it like salty foods? Is it meat based or vegetable based, or like is it fried foods? Does it have is it primarily rice or bread, or like what kind of things of that nature? So for those of you running games, think about the food. It's a value.
I love that.
You have so many senses. Taste.
Not only that,
of them.
maybe have your healing potion be a coffee as well. Healing potion doesn't have to be a potion per se. It could just be like coffee. It could be, like a drink. It could be horchata. It could be oh my god, I'm blanking it. Jamaica, thank you. I was thinking of hibiscus. It could be
a flower.
It could be punche. It could be,
yeah.
Whatever. It could be an empanada. Like your good berries could be empanadas if you really want.
Encanto,
pretty much that is fantastic.
In Encanto, there was a pupusa that was a healing item.
Yeah.
I mean, when we all saw them, like, damn, I really want a pupusa right now. Like, we all thought that at that same exact moment when we saw it. So, like, make I think that's a great thing. Like, take your culture. If you want other players to experience your culture, take your culture, put it in your games. Make something that's part of your culture, something that's going to help the players out, whether it's a healing item or, you know, some sort of tome or whatever have you.
Or if they're going to be in a city for a while and you want it to really be like, you want it to be, you know, basically your city. I mean, you made it, but like, if you want it to really feel alive, think about the things like from your own culture. And we're speaking from like Hispanic and Latinx cultures, but like if you're coming from other cultures, you know, think about the things that really stand out and that aren't necessarily like the appropriated versions of like, you know, what, you know, specifically white culture says about what your culture is, because you know your culture, and if you don't know it very well, you can do your own research, but like, you know.
Yeah, just drop in a Taco Bell and have Baja Blast being like pumped out the doors. All right, folks.
Oh my God.
I'm not knocking the Baja Blast, but let's do a little bit of homework.
There's chalupas are not there. That's a Taco Bell thing.
Yeah, I remember somebody telling me that, wow, Taco Bell is the best Mexican food ever. I'm like, that's not Mexican.
Not Mexican at all.
That's not Mexican at all. By the way, Happy Cap, you didn't tell us what was your favorite comfort food.
I think it was tostones for sure. I gotta remember what it's called because it's been a hot second. Nope, because that's what we were talking about. What am I thinking of? It's essentially a fried cornmeal little disc thing. It's like thick, and it's slightly sweet, and it's delightful. I remember having during that panel this exact problem of not remembering what it was called. But it's so good because I can eat like 6 or 7 of them, and you shouldn't, because they're like this big and they're very greasy and they're just cornmeal and like sugar and like things of that nature. Oh my God, they're so good. I will try to find. It was deep fried, yeah.
I think my grandma used to make something and we call it Johnny cakes, but like you could get it like this big and it'll be like bubbly and like craggly almost. I don't know if she used cornmeal, but I don't know.
I will try to find it, but that's like
I've heard of that. Yeah.
We'll have an answer by the end.
Have an answer by the end for sure. 100%.
Insert answer here.
Insert answer here.
I don't know what this is, but I'll find it. We'll find it.
We'll find
it. But a question that I've been asking everyone so far, because we're on the topic of just TTRPGs in general, is since the two of you play in and or run many TTRPGs, what right now, as we're filming this, is one or a few of your favorite TTRPG systems that you've played in or run, or etc., and why?
Oh, okay. I gotta think about this.
I think my number one favorite, and I am going to give it number one, is Monster of the Week. Mostly because like I kind of see it as like the TV shows I really enjoy, like Fringe, Almost Human, Alcatraz, you know, those types of TV shows, like those are the ones I really enjoy. So I take, whenever I play that, and I could almost picture like myself, me watching myself and the other players play out these characters on a TV set. And it feels like right along that structure. It's just something that I've really enjoyed, and it's easy to pick up. It's easy to learn. It doesn't take too much planning out. If you're a newcomer into the system, it's pretty much all spelled out for you. And it's a system that doesn't penalize you for failing. When you do fail a certain amount of times, you level up. So it's not that bad.
Oh, okay.
It's a power of the apocalypse type of system. So there's different other things that play along that as well. But that's been probably my number one favorite. I mean, I have played D&D 5e. I have played Vampire the Masquerade. I've played Dave Kane from Beneath the Sea, which is an Onyx Path game, I believe.
Oh,
and
yeah. Okay.
I've almost did a Star Wars system, but just haven't had the chance to do it. I have a character made, I just never did it. But I think Monster of the Week is probably my favorite one. It's just so enjoyable. I just absolutely love it. Absolutely.
Nice.
That specific system has been brought up so many times for good reason. Like it's I had a long-standing campaign that I think was almost like 60 episodes. That was Monster of the Week for good reason. I mean, we had really great characters, but also like the system lent itself to making really good and compelling characters and story. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I played Monster of the Week once with Chuck Stamos, another beautiful Latina out there. It's really fun. And I got to play the I remember this. I got to play the ghost person. Yeah, so my whole background was that I got bitten by a radioactive ghost spider, but I only got the ghost effects instead of the spider. And that was my whole deal.
I love it.
Amazing.
Oh,
I love that. But for me, probably it's gonna be Kids on Brooms, because I love that system. It's so simple, ridiculously simple, and you can do magic whenever you feel like it. It's so good. That and Pasión de las Pasiones. I ran that for a group for the Upsal Latinas, and it was so fun. And like it's just like a telenovela right there in front of you, but it can get really, really intense. But it also can get really, really, really funny. And it's probably one of my favorite ones too. I mean, I love D&D, of course, but those two are my preferred ones.
I was interested in watching the second one that I try to pronounce it. I can never pronounce it correctly, so I've stopped trying. But like I distinctly remember growing up that my abuela, my grandmother, constantly had like the
soap
TV,
opera,
the soap opera. There's like a Spanish soap opera on the in the background, and she'd have like Spanish subtitles to it. And I would ask her like, what are they saying? And she tried to translate it for me, and then I could tell that there were times where maybe she just didn't want to try to translate it for me because I was like very small. I was a child, and it was a soap opera. But like the idea of like playing one of those things that I've seen, you know, it's like background music to my childhood, is incredible. Amazing, because they're over the top, they're dramatic, like most soap operas, but I feel like it's most soap operas but like times 100 as far as like the drama that goes into them is so much.
Oh my god, yeah, it's it's ridiculous and silly, but I don't know, it's incredible and it's captivating for everybody that sees, you know, telenovelas. It's just like okay, I see that.
But they're always the same. It's like
It's always the same.
The one person's in a coma
Uh-huh.
and they wake up and they have amnesia. They don't know who they are.
Mhm.
Or it's like the poor girl who becomes rich, you know, through some sort of means. Like it's always the same. Like I remember watching them when I was younger. Like I didn't know much Spanish, but like that's how I kind of was taught, was like watching them. Like we would watch Maria del Mar, Maria del Barrio, Rosalinda, and I love Thalia. Like here I am, like a little like 12-year-old kid, and I'm like, Thalia is so gorgeous. Like she's beautiful, and like I'm watching these stuff, and they were just ridiculous. Like you could go out, drop in week after week, and then come back like 3 weeks later, and they'll still be talking about like the same exact thing.
The long lost evil twin,
yeah, or the twin that was gone and like came back and just has like a mustache.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's those I haven't seen a telenovela in ages, so I have no idea how they scaled up, like how, if the tropes are still the same. I'm sure there are, but like how they go about telling them. But it's just something that like Bastiones was something like when you ran it, I was like, oh damn, like this is interesting. Like I didn't know this was a game that you could play. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this was a system that you could play and run. And it's just like you said, it's dramatic, it's over the top, it's ridiculous.
Yes, it is. Oh, and it had so many plot points, but yeah, the long lost twin was one of those.
Is that something that's available? Like, is that something that people can watch? Because I would love to link that everywhere. If it is.
No, I lost the VOD.
Yeah, you missed it, y'all. You're gonna have to stick around for the next one when it happens, because I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I think we've talked a bit about it in our own spaces, about being Latin in the TTRPG space, and I wanted to bring it up because of specifically the Three Kings Day celebration that you organized, Gonzo, was legitimately the first time that I'd ever played at a table with just other Latin people. It was my first POC only table, and not only was it that, it was people who understood at some level. We came from a similar understanding of like our backgrounds and everything like that. So I wanted to know a little bit about your experiences, whether they were good or bad, or things you've learned, or things that you wish people would learn, about being a Latin performer and game showrunner, specifically in the online TTRPG space.
Robo, you want to take this?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh, te toca a ti. It's my turn. I mean, I put this on Twitter not too long ago from recording this, but every single one of my characters from that tweet going forward is going to have some sort of Latina name to it, Latina influence to it. I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm going to go full tilt into it. And why? It's because there's so many Latina people out there that you will not even recognize who are Latina, whether they've been, suppressing it because they had to get, it would diminish their chances of getting work, or, they were told by whomever that, like, hey, we're not looking for that. We need you to be this person. So that's who they were told to be. But I want to put like myself in there, so that way the person who's viewing on the other end could be like, oh snap, like here's this person who has these same type of, memories of when I was younger, or, like they mentioned something that I did as a kid, and like it speaks to me. But I've luckily been part of some great groups. I mean, there was one group where like I was told like, oh, like, and I wasn't with them for too long, like, hey, like this, these group of people here aren't okay with, the group that, the class that you've chosen, like the culture that you've chosen. I'm like, okay, well, but I just started then, so I didn't really know too much. I didn't know that you could say, no, I'm not cool with that. You're like, how about we work together and we try and resolve that?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a little bit more cognizant of it. I'm a little bit more aware of it, but I think most of the games that I've been playing, like I haven't been the only BIPOC person on there. I mean, I play in an all BIPOC tabletop game every Saturday night. So for me, that's my normal. Mm-hmm. That's what my every week is. That's in every game I play, and it's either I may be the only person, but I'm bringing my culture into that, or there might be one or two other people there on the table as well who are, BIPOC as well. So I think that's great. I think that's amazing that we're starting to see a lot more people into that. I'm trying to curate my space into that. I appreciate, events that similar to what Robo did for last year's Oops All Latina event, where it was just a group of all Latina tabletop players. Mm-hmm. And the Three Kings event that took place earlier in the year, we all came from different cultures, like you said, but the undertones that were being mentioned by each and every single person, I think everyone felt on their own personal level, like they could take something like, oh snap, like that was me. That little part that you just said, yeah, I remember feeling that way. Mm-hmm. As well. Like we were talking to Eliza, we were talking to Randy, we were talking to Zephy, we were talking to you and so many other people, and like I think we all connected right then and there because we had that shared experience of being an outsider. Like Mo put it best, like it was just you were told like, no, you can't really be this, but you have to do this, so you kind of had to suppress it, so you didn't really feel like you're a BIPOC individual.
Mm-hmm. Like you weren't allowed to, either because you were telling yourself you weren't allowed to, or like outside
because society's telling us we're not allowed to. Like we don't know that it's okay for us to be us. Mm-hmm. I saw a documentary earlier in the week on Netflix about Rita Moreno and the struggles she had to endure and overcome coming from Puerto Rico to the United States, moving to New York and then going to LA and starting her acting career, and everything that she had to endure, the stereotype casting that she had to endure, the indigenous person who had to be, who was always the maiden in distress, or like they were just like the arm candy of this character, but then breaking away from that role and then putting themselves in that character and trying to make their character strong and stand out. And I'm like, you know what? Like, if someone as amazing as Rita Moreno can do that and have a successful career, why can't I myself, as like a BIPOC tabletop player, do that and give that energy and confidence to someone else out there who might need it? There might be that one person who's like, like, I want to play tabletop games, I'm not sure how to do it, but see, one of us out there playing these games, like, oh, they're playing it, like I can easily find like a table for me to play. So why not be like that hope for like that person, for those individuals who just don't know how to go about it. Mm-hmm. And I think like the things that we all do individually and collectively, like trying to find more people who are like us to have more games with, have a table filled with people like us. whether we're playing games or just hanging out and just chilling or just talking like we are now, I think that's the most encouraging thing that we could do. And I think that's something that we're charged to do. No one's telling us we have to do it. I think we have to do it ourselves, because it was so hard when we were younger, because we could never see ourselves on like our favorite TV shows, in our favorite movies, in our favorite books.
Mm-hmm. I think the first time I legitimately saw me and like how I grew up to an extent was this last year when I saw Encanto. And I'm 30. Like, it shouldn't have taken 30 years for me to see someone and see like, they had hair like I did when I was a kid. And, you know, they had a big family and there was ridiculous family drama here like there was when I was a kid, you know, with extended family and everything, you know? And it's so frustrating because I didn't realize, and I mentioned this on the panel back then, like I didn't realize that something was missing because the only context I had for my Hispanic culture was in trauma. And so there was a lot of that was like blocked away because I didn't want it to associate with it because it was also associated with trauma. Mm. But it wasn't all trauma. It was also very good at times. And those are the parts that I couldn't accept that, no, there's also good there. Because that means I would also have to accept that there was also bad there. You know,
there's only two memes I could see myself in, like Encanto, like you said, and then there's a show that's a remake, One Day at a Time, with Rita Moreno in it. Like, there's the only two shows I can see myself in because that family is based on Cuban immigrants, and they're like first generation Cuban immigrants, and then second generation with their kids. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember watching that with my wife and being like, yep, I remember that growing up. Yep, that's how it was when we were little. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's how mom and dad used to act like I remember that like as a kid and like crying at times because of the messages that were there, like, you know, the importance of family, the importance of trust, the importance of having your culture represented. Like, I'm not Cuban American by any stretch of the means, but the pride that you had in your culture is just something that I think we all share. Like, I could tell like you're a proud, you know, Puerto Rican descent, you're a proud Mexican American, like I'm a proud, you know, Dominican Guatemalan, and no one could take that away from us. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we have this space that we created, and we go ahead and just put those experiences out there to others to share, is just like, it's the rawest form of us giving everything of ourselves to, you know, viewers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how do I follow that?
However you want.
I got this, I believe.
So my experience is a bit different. I grew up in the border between the United States and Mexico. So I got dual citizenships. I got Mexican and US citizenship. But so I grew up with my family in Mexico. And well, everybody's Mexican there. Everybody is like me there. So all the media, everything is in Spanish. I can see myself in a telenovela, in a show, or the news there. So I grew up there. I had all my education in Mexico, and then I went to study in Hermosillo, which is the capital of Sonora, which is one of the states in Mexico. And after that, I came here and I got a job here in the US. And it's just weird. See, where I am right now, basically, there's like 3 people all Latinas there. Well, of all the people, we're like 30 in the company, and 3 of us are Latinas. And where I'm living is basically a white community. So it's kind of, eerie, kind of, not gonna lie. It's, and the whole community is basically all white people. So yeah, I mostly stay inside, but no. Starting in the TTRPG community, I just got tired of not seeing myself in any of the shows. Pretty much the only people I knew was Cynthia Marie and DM Jazzy Hands, who are Latina, and so I just wanted to do something more, and I got a part in one of the in Yutharian Legends, which is a D&D show, and that was my first online campaign ever. And I'm the only POC there. I love the cast. It's amazing. I trust them and I love them so much. But there's also something missing there. I just want to see more people like me playing. Pretty much, I saw myself in media when What We Do in the Shadows came out with Guillermo. I saw myself like, that's me. That's really me. Like this not attractive guy who's super badass and he's also queer. So it's like, that's me. It's me.
It's you. It's you, Robo Goblin. That's you.
So yeah, seeing Guillermo there is like, oh, chef's kiss, and thank you to I forgot his name, but thank you for bringing Guillermo to our lives, and I can actually see myself there. Coming back to the TTRPG community, I wanted to do something more for the Latina community, and so I guess it all happened when D&D Live was about to come out last year, and it was during Hispanic Heritage Month. They only had 2 people there, 2 Latinas in D&D Live. And I just was like, where are we? And so I had the idea of the Oops, All Latinas event and invited both you. I played with you. And I actually run a game. And seeing people get along together, the game we played with, the first game we played with, it was Happy Cap, and we played Kids on Rooms. Harvey Guillen, yes, thank you so much. But yeah, that was really special because we were all Latinas, and I just feel, safe. I guess that's a word. That's safe and comfortable, really comfortable with everybody, because we knew each other or we've seen each other around, and I just feel really comfortable with all of us. And then I ran a game in Spanish, and that was so fun because my first language is Spanish, so I get more I can talk more in Spanish, and so it was something real special. And then Lonzo told me that he got inspired by me from running the Uppsala Latinas, and I think I actually cried from that, because that's really what I wanted to do, inspiring people. If I can do it, anybody can.
Yeah, that's that one game from the Kids on Brooms. It was one of those things that is going to stay in my memories for a long time, because of how, like you said, I don't think I had played with anyone at that table before. And yet it was so easy it was just so easy to sit there with all of these people and just be these quirky Hispanic and Latinx kids who are just trying to figure out stuff, and then have it be exceptionally sad and heartwarming and like I cried during that game, because it wasn't just because there was like a sad topic to it, but it was because there was so much of it. It felt so full in the emotion behind it, in the carefulness of the scenes that were being set, and like each of our characters. I know we each put part of ourselves in those characters, because we're like, we want to see ourselves, this is our chance, let's go. And I think all of that meshing together, it made me want to play at more I want to play at Hispanic I want to be around Hispanic people more often. And like between that and between the Three Kings Day panel, it really for me bit the both of you really was the thing that really kickstarted in my head. You can be proud of being Hispanic. You can say it with your full chest. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not lesser because it's only half of you. It is you. There's no halves about it, you know? So that's from like the deepest part of my soul. I don't think I can thank the two of you enough for those opportunities to really connect with me on a level I didn't think that I could.
No, I mean, that's all due to Robo. I was not expecting to. No, because like I said, and Robo said, if it weren't for Robo starting the all Uso Latina game event, I don't think anything else would have happened. Like that game, I only knew one person we were supposed to play with, and that person unfortunately dropped out. Then you stepped in, Robo, and everyone else was like, all right, I don't know anyone else here. And normally like, that would make me like a little bit nervous, a little bit apprehensive. But because we're all Latina, like it wasn't all that bad. Like it's still like, all right, Robo's bringing me to this barbecue at his friend's place, and it's like, oh, don't worry, like we're all Latina here, everyone's very cool, stuff like that. Like, you know, I'll show you everyone. But then seeing that there's Latina people at the table that I was playing with that were in the industry, that were very successful, and knowing that like, oh, like this is what you could do. Like you can be Latina and have like a successful career in acting and tabletop. You know, you could be a great personality and stuff like that. It was the first time that I was ever at a table like that, and after that game, like a fire that I didn't know that had to be lit, it wasn't lit. Like it was a bellowing fire. And like it was almost like the proverbial torch was like passed from like Robo. I was like, all right, you have this fire, you have this baton now, you know what to do, go with it. And I felt like I had to, like, you know, hearing it was during Hispanic Heritage Month, nothing really was going on, and Robo was like, you know what, forget it, I'll do it myself. And quick too. And that's the thing, whatever a cause is needed, no matter if it's something, you know, reproductive rights, what happened in Uvalde, or like what have you, like Robo, man, you're just really quick with it. You're really quick for your response. Like you could get people at a drop of a hat. And something that like this Latina event took me like a couple weeks to figure out, like for you, it's it's almost like you have like a catalog of like, this is what I'm going to do, and boom, the game plan's already there. And I'm
Flip
so
to random
impressed by
page
it.
5.
Like it sucks that I've seen you so much because of so much horrible shit has happened. But I'm so glad I've seen you so much because you're always the one to step up and be like, you know what? I need to do something. We need to get people to pay attention to this, and we need people to like give to this cause. And I'm like so damn proud of you that you were always there. Like I always want to promote and like help out, and every time there's a game, I'm like, damn, I can't do it because I have kids. Damn, I can't do it, I have kids. But like, I'm so fortunate enough that I can at least pop in and just hear everyone laughing and having fun and being so excited for, you know, different milestones being hit on these charity drives, or like these different cool, amazing moments in the game taking place. And it's because you, like, it's you hats off to you. I mean, I love you so much, and like, I don't think we wouldn't be here if it weren't for Robo.
Listen, I'm gonna cry.
I'm already crying
right now.
I'm already crying.
Thank you, Lonzo. I really appreciate that. But I just planned this stuff. I really want to help, and it turns out a lot of people actually want to help too. So basically, I'm just the guy that gets the list ready and everything, and all the games and stuff, because people want to help too. I usually think like, oh man, if I plan this, I'm gonna be alone. But the last event of the abortion rights event that we threw, I was really exhausted because I ran the Uvalde event before that. But this time I had a lot of help. I mean, Dusty helped me a lot with that. Shout out to Dusty Hill on Twitter. But people just want to help. They want to participate. They want to be part of the thing that I'm doing, and it's just amazing that I think I played with Happy Cap, like we played in a D&D Jordan Lee's one shot.
I think so. Yeah.
It was the second one shot that I ever played online, and it was with you, and it was Jordan, and I don't remember who was there too. But
was that the Tiamat one?
No, the Tiamat was fair.
That one was different. I wasn't there for that one.
That was a whole thing.
This is why you should hire Robo. Like, great moments.
I mean,
great RPG moments.
Oh my god! Great. I just remember Tiamat that we hooked up with the Tarrasques. So
yeah, you did.
That's a thing.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens with it. But anyway, just people want to help, and to actually reach out to both of you on both events, and just that you wanted help too, that you wanted to help. That means a lot, and it's amazing feeling like the community is there for you, and you are there for the community.
I think there is something to be said, because you kept saying how you were happy and sometimes surprised that people just kept showing up, kept wanting to help. But I think part of it is because people are seeing that you are so willing to. Let's be real. You get shit on a lot. You get a whole lot of things thrown at you on the internet space that is undeserving, and it is not good. And at least from my side, you are one of those people that I see who, despite being kicked down, despite things being thrown at, you keep coming back, and you keep coming back louder and prouder than ever before. And Lonzo is not wrong when he says that you are an inspiration, because you are. And that's, people keep showing up because you keep showing up and you don't stop. And I hope you never stop, because of you just being there, you are causing ripples to happen and causing people to want to do more things.
Okay, so enough of you. That's enough from both of you.
You came to my house.
That's enough of you. Now I'm gonna say something back to you. Haha. Take this.
In my house.
Maria, you are an amazing artist. I've watched you play in a lot of TTRPGs. I watched you ran a couple of them. You are phenomenal. You are so great. You just give your character so much life and emotion, and that's so amazing to see. And your art, your overlays, and all the stuff that you do is amazing, and it's great. And you are a fantastic human being, and I'm thankful for being in the same spaces as you are.
No, passion's the one thing I could use to describe you, because when I saw you for PAX, when we had 3-5 minutes to talk about the Latina event, like, it was 3-5 minutes, but in that 3-5 minutes, like, it was nothing but passion. We could do this. This is what we're going to plan on doing. This is how hard we're going to come out. This is how impactful it's going to be. This is where we could go with this. This is what we could do afterward. This is what the opportunities we could get afterward, or where we could take it. It's passion. Like, it's nothing but, like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run with it. I'm ready to do 160% of what's needed for any single thing. Like, I think my favorite TTRPG moment watching you, Maria, was the hot tubs and himbos.
Yes. Yes.
Because that was, like, every minute and a half was just, like, folks laughing.
Yeah.
Just folks laughing. Like, it was absolutely amazing. The chemistry with all the cast and, like, your characters and the interactions was just laughter and like, Ashenwork's face, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna be doing this now. Like, it's because, like, it was just so hilarious. But again, that speaks to the passion. It was a game ran on your channel. Mm-hmm. It was a charity event that you were doing, but it was the passion behind it that allowed all those great moments to happen. So without that passion, like, none of these things would be happening. Like, you wouldn't be you if it weren't for that bonfire burning inside of you.
Why would you do this in my own house? Thank you. That was very sweet. Thank you. Ugh, I don't know what to do with all this now. What do I do?
Lonzo, we got to talk about Lonzo now.
We got to talk about Lonzo now. Mm-hmm.
Don't make me use my dad voice.
Listen, you think that scares me? You think I'm afraid of that? Listen. You go on, Lonzo.
Okay.
You go.
Hey.
So.
No, Lonzo, you stay there. You sit.
Yeah, stay there. Stay there. Lonzo. Okay, let's talk about Lonzo now. Lonzo is probably the most supportive person in the whole internet. Like, I tweet something and Lonzo is liking it, retweeting it. Lonzo retweets everybody who is who's basically all the awesome people in the TTRPG community or in the streamer community. Lonzo is there. Lonzo is always there for you. He will always do his best to just be there. And, you know, I'm proud to call you hermano, because you are my hermano, and I really, really love you so much because you truly are a beacon in the community that helps a lot of people, not just us, a lot of people, and you are there for everybody. And speaking of passion, you are very passionate. You are such a good. I've seen you in a couple of games. I played with you, and you just give this. Your character's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you. Like your characters are you, but it's not you. Does that make sense? But you just make them feel, again, so real, so unique. And to play with you has been one of the best experiences in my life. And I thank you for that.
I think to touch on something that you said, Lonzo, you are without a doubt one of those people that I knew for 5 minutes, and I knew that we would be family. I instantly knew it, because you have the ability to be so generous with your compassion and so ready to stand up for people who are downtrodden and people who are not seen, whether they are people who share your heritage or not. If there is injustice that is being done, I see you standing up for these people. I see you being an open arms to embrace people. You have this incredible energy that is so warm that I want nothing more than to be around it. You are, like, it's exactly as Robo was saying, you are a beacon in this space. You draw the best people to you, and you boot all that bad shit back. It does not need to be anywhere you are. You don't let it be there. And people are safe when they're around you. They feel safe. And you are there. Like you were saying, you might not be able to be in games, but I see you everywhere. Everywhere, in all these little corners, doing your part, doing what you can just to be there and to make sure places are safe and places are bright. And that is absolutely something that you should be so incredibly proud of.
Take that.
Take that. Y'all come into my show. You thought we were talking about food? TTRPGifs.
Bye guys, I gotta go cry.
Nah, we're here to hype each other up and make each other cry.
Hell yeah.
I love you too.
No,
Y'all are
no,
incredible.
you guys.
Amazing. Well, this turned so much nicer than I thought it was going to. And I knew it was gonna be great anyway. Any final thoughts, my friends? Any closing things on your mind that you want to share?
I have one topic.
What?
TTRP Juliet, what's your favorite character y'all played?
Oh shit. That's a tough.
Oh
shit.
no! Oh, okay.
Y'all are just digging through.
Yeah.
It's a long list. It's a long list. I'm gonna stick with 2, even though I want to say 3.
Okay. All right.
The first one is the character that I played for my Monster of the Week campaign, which was on Dice Priori. The majority, if not all of it, is on YouTube now. But I played Hector Bartholomew, who was a late 70s elderly man who used to be a professor and forgot a lot of his things and came back to this weird little town in the middle of nowhere, and everything went bad and the world started to end, and it was very strange. But it was very interesting to take what was going to be kind of a little bit of a joke character and have him go through this huge full circle and ended up making some pretty drastic and heavy choices. And throughout the entire thing, realizing that there were some things that he was experiencing and going through that I was also at the time, now like thinking about it, also going through. And also it's the character that I've played the longest. We played, I think, for almost 2 years with that campaign. Or it felt like 2 years. It felt like 1,000 years. But the one that I think means, it kind of sticks with me the most, was a character on a show called Project VHS. And it was using Cypher System. And it was a game where all of us coming into it, we all came into it with the intention of playing broken characters who had to go work through something, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to be real upfront with y'all. This is literally something that I myself am trying to process through, which is the concept of death and like saying goodbye and things of that nature. And to really drive it home, I named my character after my grandmother, who had my Puerto Rican grandmother, my abuela, who had passed away like 8 to 10 years before that. And throughout the run of the show, there was so much that, like, TTRPG is not necessarily therapy, so it wasn't that, but being able to have moments where my character could say goodbye to people that she had lost in her past, and have that kind of grief and that release and everything of that nature. A little part of me was able to kind of feel that as well. So those are the two most memorable ones, I think. Those ones are going to stay in here for a very, very long time.
For me, it's probably Lunas, which is my halfling Circle of the Stars druid, which is probably the character that I have been playing for more than 3 sessions, or at least. But yeah, I love this character a lot because I can be my wholesome self, but I also am gonna kick some ass if somebody hurts my family. And also because I basically created this whole character around me, but it's a halfling, you know, I'm tall, but
you gotta throw some fantasy in there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So all he comes from a village that is that I based around my hometown, and my parents are there, which is basically the greatest thing ever because I get calls from them. I have to call them. I have to send them a message using sending spell, so to tell them that I'm all right. And basically, my parents are alive, and it's a concept in D&D that is so not used by a lot of people. That's one of my favorite characters, but the other one is Alfredo. It's an owling, and it's my first bard ever. I never had actually like I just didn't think I had myself in like a bard, you know. I didn't think I could play a bard because I didn't trust myself with that, because I thought that bards were all charismatic and supposed to, you know, sing and act and dance or whatever. So I based Alfredo on my TTRPG, not persona, but my TTRPG thing on TTRPGifs pretty much, because he tells stories. He's a storyteller. So he tells stories about characters from everywhere in the TTRPG community. And because I watch a lot of shows, so I know a lot of characters, and I just take stories about them and just tell stories as Alfredo. And I I broke Duval this one time by telling a story about his character, and I broke Jordan Lee, because I told a story about her character. So that was really special. And it's also something I've been working on to be more, confident in myself too. And being a bard, it's cathartic, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's me.
I think I'm gonna go 2 as well, because we all have.
Let's go.
My 1 is the longest character I've probably been playing, and this is my Failed by Night character from Vampire the Masquerade, Oscar de Don Ponce, who, when I create a character, I created it as me. Like, the background for the most part is me, like had the same job when they were kind as me, with the same like mentor as me. Like, everything was pretty much me in it, down to like the name Oscar being like my uncle's name who passed away from cancer. Like, I just wanted to honor him, because he was on my mind at the time when I was creating the character. So I just made sure like I had his memory in that character. And like, we're going into our final season with it, and like, it's going to be kind of hard saying goodbye to Oscar. Like, there's a lot of great memories playing it. The whole crew at like Rolling These 20s is like amazing, and just being able to tell this story with this character, like with Fair, Mikey, Mike, Juice, Ivy, Liz, and Dimples, has just been like so great, able to just put all that, and playing with like a Latina character and having other Latina at the table, and just being able to say like, ¿qué está diciendo? Like, ven aquí, hermana. Like, just to have like those moments just like really brings it home. But I think like my number 1 favorite character is a D&D character I played in a one-shot from the Free Forge. We did a Clever Change event. This is ran by GM Connie Chang. I played a character named Juancito Chapin.
I knew you were going to say Juancito. Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Was I think it was a Hobgoblin Paladin who was the youngest of, it was like 4 or 5 other kids. So pretty much, it was like Hades. Like, our big bad was our dad, and we had to go beat up our dad. And the beginning of the game, like, the game started like where we all died fighting, and we had to come back and like fight our way to him. And it was an amazing game, because we were told make like 4 different characters on 4 different levels, and like depending on how you progress the story, like, you'll be this character at this level, at this level, this level. But just to have the interaction of Juancito, like with his mother who passed, to be like put down and talked down, kind of gaslit by like the father with the machismo and stuff like that, being like, you're like, you gotta be tough, you gotta be strong, but what if you don't want to be that? What if you want to be caring, sweet, and enduring, and you want to make sure that your family's taken care of? I'm like the oldest of like me and my brother, like most of my my stepsisters and stepbrothers, my step siblings, but it was a lot of fun playing a character who was younger, but also had like in their heart to look out of everyone else. Because I see that in like my kids. Like, yeah, I have two kids, like one they're older, one they're younger, but like they still are kind of sweet towards each other. Like they kind of look after each other, stuff like that. So it's good to like bring that little bit in that character. But it was just so much fun playing him, being like this sweet little charismatic person who I've wanted to at the end have him, you know, like give his life to help the rest of the family out. And when Connie was like, no, you're not allowed to do this because like she like counterspelled something I was gonna do, I was like, damn it, Connie, just give me this chance. But it was a great character. Like I miss it. I miss the story. It was so much fun. And I think that's one character I really connected to for some strange reason. Like it was just I think it's because I added Chapin at the end, which is like a using like Guatemalan slang. It's like, hey, Chapin is like Guatemalan. Almost, it's like that's how they would greet each other. So like when I put that in there, like I don't know, like it just really clicked for that character, and just really like it was like my stamp of me going on that character. And so I think that's what really really made it so much fun to play.
Ooh, no. I want to watch all of these games now.
Well, those of you who are watching and who have been watching and listening, thank you for being here. Thank you too for being here and being your wonderful, incredible, amazing selves. Where can folks find you? And if you have any projects coming out at the time of this airing, which is very close to Hispanic Heritage Month, might I add, we discovered, let the world know where you are and what you're doing these days. Let's start with Gonzo. My house, my rules.
I'm LonzoGonzo. Pronouns he, him. You can find me on Twitter at LonzoGonzo. You can find me on Twitch at LonzoGonzo_, where I'm a variety streamer. You can also find me Saturday nights over at Rolling These 20s. Possibly then too. I'm not sure. We're ending our 5th season maybe around like, I don't know, August, September, maybe.
Well, if it's done, go watch it again, y'all.
Go watch it again.
Go watch it again.
YouTube. You can catch up. But I'm sure we'll have another game then. Also, be sure to follow Café Cote d'Ivoire. We're a group of Latinx, Hispanic individuals. Like we're made up of artists, musicians, VTubers, streamers, tabletop players, just a bunch of talented freaking people. And I think they have some big, huge things lined up for Hispanic Heritage Month. So yeah, be sure to stay tuned to that, because there's a shit ton of awesome stuff coming up. We're not going to be quiet like, you know, they made us do last year. Hell no. We're out here. We're getting that block party going for days.
Hell yeah.
And over to Robo.
It's me, Robo Goblin. And you can find me at TTRPGifs on Twitter and on Twitch. And let's see, I do have, I am raising funds for the Radiant Citadel stream, which is going to be all POC journeys through the Radiant Citadel anthology show. If you want to drop there, and it's a call-5/TTRPGifs, where you can donate to make all the adventures happen.
Yes.
Also, if this is Hispanic Heritage Month, we're gonna have an event for a TTRPG event soon. Stick around, maybe.
It's happening.
I don't know how time works.
Listen, if it's posted by the time this airs, there'll be links all over the place.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Happy Capster, for inviting us here. And this was so lovely. And thank you so much. And it was such a great experience. Thank you so much.
Hey,
it's like hanging out with family.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I knew I was going to do a second, as soon as I started scheduling for a second season of Nightcap, I was like, I gotta have family on here. I gotta do it. It's non-negotiable this year. But of course, everyone, you can find me everywhere at Happy Capster. Stay tuned for another one of these, because let me tell you, y'all, we got these are delightful people. We got more coming. But until the next time we see each other, everyone, may your cups be full of something delicious and warm, and may you have a fantastic rest of your day. We love you. Have a great night.